This is our new modular pallet solution. What this is showing is a way to stage multiple pallets with different types of parts on them for advanced machine tending. As part of this setup, the robot is able to come over and grab these parts in a agnostic way, regardless of the type of part that is on the shelf. It also involves a loading system on the CMM and the CNC, which has a universal coupling system. So this allows us to use the exact same work holding, regardless of the part type, to be able to do advanced machine tending. All of these parts get tracked in our robotic production software. Therefore, the software changeover to do things like program changes or macro changes or variable changes on the CMM can all be automated. Some of the technology that we are showcasing in this include the shunt NSR coupling module for the gripper and work holding. We're also showcasing the VeroS pallet system, but this modular solution is compatible with a variety of different types of pallet solutions on the market. This is our Flexxbotics console. This is part of the Flexxbotics solution. The Flexxbotics console is the brain of the automation cell. So it contains all of the hardware that's required to install the pneumatics, all the I/O, all of the industrial PCs required to run an automation cell. It also has a touchscreen monitor, which runs our robotic production software. The robotic production software is designed for multi-machine, multi-part, multi-op environments, and also allows for what we call autonomous process control. So you can see on the left here, we have all of the machines that are within the cell. So we have a Haas Via4 5-axis mill, we have a Hexagon Tego CMM, and all of this communications is happening through our technology called FlexCore. On the right side here, we're tracking parts that are on the modular solution in feed. So within each of these sections here, we can click and we can see any part detail that we need. What this is used for is for doing changeover on the various pieces of equipment and driving that through the robot. So you can have multiple different types of parts staged on the in feed, and then the robot can get the information from those parts as it's running them through each step of the process, and it's able to facilitate the software changeover as part of the pick and place mechanism that it's performing. So the Flexxbotics console has all the hardware required to run an advanced automation cell. You can see here we have a regulated pressure inlet, so any shop air can just be directly plugged in to this inlet, and it's going to provide air to all of the pneumatics within the cell. On the back side over here, we have 16 pressure outlets for various pneumatics. This is all driven by an internal manifold, and all the I/O is tied from that manifold into our internal I/O within the console. We also have 32 safety inputs and outputs. So these are all dual channel, can be tied into e-stops, can be tied into other types of safety systems like laser scanners or light curtains. And then at the top layer here, we have all general purpose 24-volt I/O. So this can be used for any I/O signaling that's required within the cell, things like cycle starting, things like reading inputs, and a variety of other use cases. So on the front side of the console, we have a built-in emergency stop. We have a built-in safety reset button. We also have 2 USB ports. So if you need to plug in a barcode scanner or a mouse and keyboard, you can do that very easily. On the back side, there's room to run more cabling into the console. So you can do things like expand to as much Ethernet as you need to for the application. Because we have inspection as part of this cell, we can do what we call autonomous process control. So in this example, we're actually using feedback from the CMM machine to apply offsets to the CNC machining process. And we have a heads-up display directly on the console that is showing what types of offsets that we're actually making to that CNC machine to keep the parts in tolerance. We are showing our modular pallet solution working with a Hexagon CMM. So you'll see here, the robot is going to approach the CMM and place the part in the work holding onto the 0-point work holding here. After it places, it's going to be clamped, and this is all being driven from the Flexxbotics console solution as part of the solution. Once the part gets placed, Flexxbotics solution is sending a command to the CMM through our FlexCore technology, This is going to start the CMM program, and it's going to run the program for the part that's actually in the CMM here. Because the Flexxbotics robotic production software is housing all of the part information as part of the automation job, it's able to do automatic changeover with this solution. So if a new part gets introduced, the software can automatically tell the CMM that it needs to inspect that part with a different routine. Once the CMM cycle is complete, our FlexCore software is going to be able to detect that the CMM cycle has ended. It will instruct the robot to go over, pick the part, and this part will be put back onto the modular shelving solution where it can be marked as good or bad for the operator. All of the data from the CMM measurements are actually being tracked by the Flexxbotics software. Because we have this data and we have connections both to the CMM and the CNC, we can utilize this data to provide real-time offsets into the CNC machine using our autonomous process control technology.